question, but I guess the main question that I have is, are you going to release a statement about the Palestinian hostages?
No, because I'm apolitical that way. I'm a Jew. I'm surrounded by Jews. I have Jewish friends. I have Jewish family. I'm in Jewish Facebook groups. I'm seeing stuff about the Jews, and my Jewish friend sent me this Jewish video. So right now, unfortunately, while the world should be unbiased, I'm biased towards the Jews and the Jewish hostages because that's what I see. Obviously, it should go without saying I don't want anyone to be hostages anywhere. I don't want there to be any violence anywhere. I'd love an end to war. I can't make that happen. I'm just some guy talking into the void on Twitter here, or on X, formerly known as Twitter. But I I'm not up on foreign affairs and foreign policy. I'm not an expert on that. My recently deceased cousin was. If he was there, he could have that discussion. I am not informed enough to opine on the situation as a whole, but I can opine on there are hostages that weren't home for Passover, should have been, would have loved to see them be back. The rest of the Palestinian hostages, you exist, you should be free too. But at the moment, I'm sharing the video that I got from my Jewish friend because I'm a Jewish guy.
All right. Well, I'm just going to say you're not speaking into a void. You have a very clear audience. You do have a big audience.
Thank you.
And when you have an audience like that, you just can't. Sorry, I'm exhausted, but you can't just. I mean, there's a lot of Palestinians who like you and support you as well, right?
I get that.
The truth is, you can't just pick one side like that, right?
Okay.
You gotta advocate for the hostages. That's what I'm trying to explain.
I'm a Jew. Are the Palestinians gonna like me less if they find out I'm a Jew? Hope not. I don't like them less because they're Palestinians. But as we all live in our own little bubbles, I'm in a Jewish bubble most of the time. So I'm more familiar with the plight of the Jewish hostages. I am surrounded by Jews. And I've been a Jew all my life. So if you put we go with the red pill, blue pill analogy, I'm going to go with the pill that is most familiar, more than likely. But as the legal expression of an expressio, I can't do it in Latin, but the expression is the exclusion of the expression of one is the exclusion of another. That doesn't apply here. Just because I'm expressing one, that does not mean de facto that I'm excluding the other. I'm speaking about what I know about. I'm not one to opine about stuff that I have no knowledge about. People ask me questions about voiceover work. I opine about that because I know about that.
Well, I'm not trying to sound like disrespectful or anything, but I think you do have to educate yourself and look at both sides before making an informed opinion. That's just my opinion. I do have to get going, but I really do appreciate your work. And
thank you.
Have a great
Thanks
day.
for calling. As I said before, I wasn't expressing opinions on the conflict as a whole. I'm expressing opinions on the hostages that I expressed an opinion about. All right, let's go to our next caller. Nice and easy to pronounce. PM. Hello, you're on the air. I guess you're not. Okay, let's go to Noble. No, wait, there's PM. There's not PM. Twitter Spaces, everyone. It's like Discord, but apparently worse. Let's go to Noble. No, let's go to PM. PM, are you there? Third time's the charm.
Hello,
Hi,
Mr.
here's some
Mike Pollok.
noise.
How are you? Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Mike Pollok. How are you
I'm. Don't ask.
Yes, we're doing
Thank
what
you.
we're doing. Well, first, I don't really have a question. I just wanted to pop on and say I admire your work, particularly, and one obvious one that you probably get asked about often. We'll leave it at that. But I actually agree with something you posted on here like a while back, because something in response to, I guess, a similar
Okay.
matter. I think you had said the words, "I'm an actor, not an activist," and that just kind of resonated with me. And I just wanted to say, I kind of appreciate that neutral stance, and I kind of lean more towards that way. So I just wanted to say, thank you for finding the words to phrase that in a way that I can relate
Thank
to.
you.
Thank you.
People have been calling me to task on those similar words that I've said this evening. And I'll clarify, I'm not an activist in general. The occasional issue that hits close to home, I'll speak out about. But For example, SAG-AFTRA went on strike. I could have gone to picket. I don't want to picket. I don't want to march around holding a sign. That's not my scene, Jack, as they would have said in the 50s and 60s. I'm not likely to grab an angry torch and form the angry mob that may be sitting waiting for me here in these callers. But that's just me. But if I have something that I think is a fairly innocuous and humanitarian type statement, like the one that I made today, I'll make that. But then suddenly things get twisted and inferred, and stuff I didn't say gets assumed. But there you go. Welcome to the Twitterverse. All right, PM, thank you so much for calling. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and I look forward to hearing more of your
Thank
voiceover work later
thank you
on.
so much. I hope I still get to do some. But okay, for those who say I'm not usually snarky, this is me. I'm usually snarky. I'm doing it now. All right, let's see. Shall I guess is Kiravin? Pronounce your name, if you'd like.
Oh yeah, it's Karevin.
Karevin. I could have guessed that eventually.
Yeah.
But who has the time? Karevin, welcome. How can I help you?
Oh yeah, I was just wondering, kind of not related to you being hacked, but what's your stance on using AI voice filters?
Don't get me started. Voice filters, describe that, because I have opinions on deep fakes and voice cloning. What do you mean by an AI filter specifically?
Yeah, well, I guess I'm mostly just drawing attention to everyone listening that what you're using now is an AI voice filter.
Okay.
And so that would
How,
replicate someone's voice. You can generally get like a lot of audio from someone like Mike, who has gone out and spoken a lot publicly, and train an AI model to be able to change your voice to sound like someone else's or anyone else's voice in real time.
Mm.
So if you happen to hack a Twitter and start talking about something that's a hot topic right now, no matter which side you're on,
Mm-hmm. Oh.
then you can just kind of go live and sound like him.
Okay.
But
well, hang on.
it's hilarious how many people are falling for it, for sure.
Okay, here, let me do a quick demonstration. Can an AI filter do this? I'm doing this voice now. And now I'm doing this other voice. And now I'm doing this other voice. Can an AI filter do that? I'm just curious.
It absolutely can.
Okay, great.
Especially because we've heard Mike do that exact little routine that you've done, and it sounds significantly better.
Okay, now I'm doing different
like
voice. How is this? Is this different enough? You want to throw me a request? Throw me a request. How can I disprove this?
No, that's the problem. You can't disprove it other than just using your own ears. And the people who are going to be fooled by it are going to be fooled by just by you talking normally. The people who know are going to know. So the best thing you can do is just bring awareness to the fact that you are using an AI voice filter.
That's great.
Because you have hacked Mike's account.
Except I'm not. I'm not a hacker. I'm Mike.
You're Mike.
Don't know how to prove that to you.
You've studied up on him.
You're a conspiracy theorist, Kevin.
You do. I am very much so.
Okay, you're demonstrating that right now.
I doubt almost everything.
Okay.
But I will say you definitely have a lot of his mannerisms down, especially in the way that you speak and the way that you write. A lot of those quips are very close to what he says, but not quite the same to people who've been keeping an eye out.
That's hysterical. Okay, well, since it's impossible to prove a negative, I guess we'll have to realize that at no point will the account change because the account has not changed hands. You'll notice I'm doing the exact same thing on Facebook. I'm responding to emails that people are sending me the same way. I've answered voice calls from people here on Twitter. It's me, but you don't have to believe that. I guess.
You know what? And I see what you're saying. A lot of my friends are listening right now, and they're telling me, Karevin, abort, it's him. And you know what? I've been wrong about many things, and I might be wrong about this, but if I'm not, then I get to say right now to everyone, I told you so. I told you so.
Okay. I've earlier shared a picture. I think I've shared it publicly, but I may not. I guess I could tweet it too. I shared a picture of me at my computer with a timestamp, completely unshowered and looking crazily hideous, with a timestamp in the corner showing that I'm here. I guess we could also demonstrate that
that's something.
Yes, go on.
That's the problem. Someone who is intelligent enough and skilled enough to be able to do what I'm accusing you of doing would easily be able to do that. I could do something like that, and maybe not as fast because I'm not as talented as the people that can do this. It'd take me a minute or two, but someone who's talented enough can easily get an image, fake or not, of Mike doing almost anything that you want, except for something unrealistic, like send me a picture of you on top of a mountain. If you were real, you couldn't do that, so it doesn't work.
Okay, well, in the age of deep fakes, there's absolutely nothing I could do. I might not be real. I may never have been real. I guess we'll have to live with that.
But I appreciate the troll. You're doing amazing. I absolutely love it. Congratulations. It's great.
Thanks.
Real or not, it's fun.
Thanks. Let's see if I can keep it up.
You can go ahead and move.
I'll see if I can keep it up for the rest of my life, as I plan to do.
All right, you can move on to the next person.
Thank you so much for the call,
Congratulations.
Corinne. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
My pleasure. Love you. Bye.
Bye. Never a dull moment in these things. Noble, is that you? You're on the air.
Oh, wait, am I here now?
Yeah, was that wrong? Did you not want to be here?
Oh no, I wanted to be on.
Okay.
I just, it just my mic kind of messed up.
Assuming you're not a deep fake of yourself, you're on the air.
Nah, I'm not a deep fake. Not at least not yet. But
that makes two of us, as far as I know. But go on. How can I help you?
First, before I say anything, I'm a big fan of you.
Thank you very much.
So let's just kind of get that. But
Hope that lasts.
But kind of wanted to touch base on not the previous guy, but the guy before, when he said, "I'm an activist," actor, not activist. That kind of stuck with me, and I kind of wanted to would you kind of figure that kind of speech out, because now that's kind of resonating with me, because that I kind of get that. What do you call? I kind of, I don't say hit close to home, but more like that applies to me a ton.
Sure.
Where people ask me, and I'm just always kind of on a neutral, but I'm always kind of a people's person. Where I kind of want to see people happy, but I'm never a big one side over the other.
Sure, it's often an older child versus younger child thing if you go back into child psychology, but generally some people have very strong opinions and desire to share them on every possible subject under the sun. Some, like me, tend to be a little more stay in your lane. Other people want to be all over the road and be Wally Weaver. I'm not judging. I'm also famous for not judging. You can do whatever you want, but when it comes to me, I'm not an activist for the sake of being an activist. People love to say, you can't be neutral. Neutral is complicit. Great. I get that. You know why you say that? Because you're an activist. Great. Go ahead, be an activist. Pick up your picket sign, grab your torch, have a field day. You don't have to drag me along. I can sit and watch. I could silently counter protest, but what's the point of that? I could just keep my distance. I choose what I activize about. I'm in a couple of trade groups that I should be more activist-y about. There was the SAG-AFTRA strike happened. I didn't pick it then. Didn't have to. Could have. Didn't. Chose not to. That's okay. I understand that today in the world of the internet, and especially in the world of young folks with big opinions, there's going to be more activism. When I was a kid, there was activism. There was the 60s, even before I was a kid. The 60s happened, but not everyone was expected to be an activist. It wasn't mandatory. So it's okay. You don't have to be. You can be. Won't stop you from being, but not everyone has to be.
Yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense. I don't know.
Hope so.
I just kind of saw.
I'm expressing my opinion on that, but thank you.
Yeah, just kind of saw the tweets, and I was just like, it's kind of crazy that today happening. But now I kind of speak and kind of get more of a, what do you call, a perspective.
Thank you. Had to figure out how to address it somehow, and this was our choice.
Yeah, I guess it's a better way to kind of get everyone on the air.
Thank you.
But I guess anyway, I guess that's just my time. Anyway, big fan again. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Noble. Thanks for being a part of it.
Thank you again.
Sure.
Bye.
Bye. Let's go and get that Griff, VA. See what I did there? Thank you. Griff, you're on the air. Now he disappears. If you've ever hosted your own space, this is so delightfully confusing. Because I guess whatever connectivity issues folks are having, they appear, then they disappear. Going once, going twice. Third time's the charm. 3 strikes, you're out. Come back later if you'd like to. Apparently, we now have LeBron James, ladies and gentlemen. Bronny, how are you?
Hey, what's up?
How are you? Thanks for joining us.
I'm doing good. I just wanted to let you know I'm a big fan.
Thank you kindly.
I mean, I don't really have a stance on the situation. I'm not that informed on all this. But,
that's cool.
Yeah, I really didn't even mean to be on here, to be honest. You can just remove me. Okay. I did not mean to request.
Okay, thanks for the call. Come back next space. I don't know what that means. And let's move on to Sonic Eraser. Oh, the irony. Hello, Sonic Eraser. You're on the air.
I don't know what's going on anymore.
I see you haven't disappeared yet. That's a good thing. I heard a beep. Is it a good beep or a bad beep? There's some noise. Hello, Sonic Eraser. How are you?
I got a question.
That's why we're here.
Do you think that the IDF, like the Israeli government, is to blame for the genocide? And I think, like, honestly, should there be a peace treaty among Palestine and Israel?
Okay. I don't know who's at fault. It's been going on for so long. And again, don't really have an opinion on that part. But boy, peace would be great. Back in the 70s, 80s, 70s, I think, there was Egypt-Israel Accords, which was great. There was a peace treaty there. Yeah, peace treaties would be great among so many enemies. Not just, for example, in some popular video games you may have heard of. But sure, the more people that could make peace, the better. People, especially these days, love to fight. They love to hate. They love to hate people they disagree with. God forbid you actually disagree with someone and still talk to them and be friendly with them. That can't happen today. Used to happen in my day. But yeah, more people should make peace and negotiate with each other. Just in general in all of life. So yeah, I'm not an expert on these matters. Again, my cousin, who's now deceased, was he an expert on Middle East affairs. He could have some solutions. But again, I'm sure he's been working on solutions when he was alive. Too late now. But I don't know if anyone has a solution. I've yet to see one yet that works, apparently. But boy, that would be a great thing to see.
Okay, that's all I have.
All right. Thank you. Best of luck to us all.
Yep.
Thanks for the call. If anyone remembers Larry King, I may lapse into Larry King periodically as I go, Yuri, you're on the air. Hello. Oh, look, I sounded like Eggman just now. Hello, Yuri, are you there? There's a noise.
I'm here to give my official opinion on the stance of the matter.
Great.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Here it comes. Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. I can do the Eggman voice. I can see you're a loving fan. Give me a request.
No. We're trying to keep things relevant. So if you got nothing relevant, I gotta let you go.
This is relevant. I'm Mike Pollok. I'm giving it a what is this? Is this Discord?
Well, if it was, what's Mike Pollok's typical Discord response? Here's a hint. I mentioned it earlier.
Don't hurt me.
Now, the answer would be Discord, everyone. Discord. All right, Yuri, thank you so much. Thanks for the call.
I love you, Dr. Eggman.
Thanks.
Keep being cool.
I'll tell him. Thank you. All right, we now have Helix degrees Fahrenheit. I guess that is. Helix, are you there? Let's wait for the sound to happen. That's how this works. Nope, disappeared. 10-second rule. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Can you tell he used to work in radio? I can. Helix, you're back. We guess restart the clock. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, if you want to try again, come on back, Helix. Thank you so much. It appears to be Dub Z up next. Dub Z, are you there? Again, Dub Z disappears.
Hey, no,
Oh,
no,
great,
no,
you're
I'm
back.
here.
Welcome. You're not even showing up now. This is a great service, ain't it? How can I
Yeah.
help you, Dub Z?
How's it going?
Don't ask.
First off, I just want to say, I am a big fan of yours,
Thank you
Mike.
very much.
I've been, hearing your voice in Sonic Colors on the Wii, so it's kind of cathartic to talk to you right
Thank
now.
you.
But I just want to get to the point here.
Please.
Man, when I see, when I just got on Twitter today and I see all this, controversy and everything happening with you, it really just came to a shock. And personally, I haven't really looked into the whole Palestine thing that's going on right
Mm-hmm.
now. Not really a huge news guy myself, but what I did want to say is that, you have a massive platform, it reaches out to a lot of thousands of fans. And, seeing the responses that you're making just, rubbed me the wrong way. I get it, you're expressing your opinion, but from what I've seen, I think the best way to handle controversies like this is to just, not, respond to so many people, because, it kind of made everybody just freak out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like if you just made the post and left it alone, I feel like maybe it would have gone a little better, and not have this whole eruption, oh, he was hacking. Well, I mean, people probably still think you were hacked,
Right.
but like, I think the situation could have just been handled better. You are free to, this is a free app. You are free to express every opinion that you want
Understood.
to. But from things I've seen, handling controversy can be done in a much better way than I think that you handled it. But again, can't change the past and stuff like that. But I just wanted to say that, it might have scared a lot of people. I know it kind of scared me what was going on.
Well, I'm here to solicit feedback, and I'm not going to shut down all the feedback. But as we've discussed, people can disagree and hopefully still be cordial to one another. I am an entertainer. I find comedy where others won't find comedy, even if I see the comedy and can't make you see the comedy. I get that comedy is very subjective. But I especially, when backed into a corner and have to defend myself, not unlike many Jews I know, I resort to self-deprecating humor. I resort to bad puns. I resort to snappy answers. There was a feature in Mad Magazine years ago, snappy answers to stupid questions. And it was just
Yeah.
all sarcasm. And I default to snark. I default to sarcasm. Unfortunately, seeing it in print is different than hearing me say it in person, because just like with acting, you lose the line delivery, you lose the emotion behind it. So
Yeah.
it can definitely be misinterpreted. That's a risk I'm always taking. That's a risk I've taken again here. But when I
Yeah.
made the post, the first handful of responses were not surprisingly Free Palestine. And as the Jew that I am, seeing Free Palestine, we Jews tend to read anti-Semitism in many of those, because it's kind of, if it's not one thing, it's another. So folks that
Yeah.
say Free Palestine have a tendency to also have some anti-Semitic feelings. So that got me a little worked up. And then with each individual challenge, I chose, wisely or not, to respond in my typical snarky way. I guess I
Yeah.
can apologize, but again, it's going to be one of those, I'm sorry you feel that way type of apologies. I'm sorry that what I
Yeah.
said got misunderstood. Wasn't my intention, but I guess perception is reality. So sure, could I turn off the snark? If I had to, yes. Do I want to?
Yeah.
No. Should you ever trust people who ask themselves their own questions? No. But that's a nothing matter for another time. See, just got snarky there. So yes, get that. Can't change the past. Absolutely right. Can try to change the future. What good will it do at this point? Who knows? Hope this Twitter space clears up some stuff. Don't know. So thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. I've taken that to heart,
Um,
and in the spirit in which it was intended, and exactly the reason why I was soliciting feedback and taking the feedback I'm getting.
yeah. Also, just one more quick
Sure.
question. If you could do that for me. So I saw a few people, saying like, "Oh, we got to recast Mike Pollock now as
Mhm.
Eggman," and everything like that. Do you think that this controversy might have some effects with your relationship with Sega at all?
If Sega has any empathy whatsoever, and I believe they do, they'll look at the
Yeah.
initial tweet and say, "Oh, Mike wants to see the hostages return home safely. That's honorable," and leave it at that. Nowhere does Mike
Okay.
express anything Zionist-y. I didn't blatantly support Israel's actions. I didn't support Palestine's actions. It wasn't about the crux of the conflict. It's about the people minding their own business, and then suddenly they find their hostages in Palestine, and they're missing their family back home. We just had Seder. They would for Passover. They weren't there. They would have missed Seder. They did. So that's the gist of the song. As I mentioned, the song had visual images, kind of necessary because they were pictures of real events. I didn't make the video.
Yeah.
I didn't choose the images, but the sentiment of the song, which was exclusively bringing them home. I'm surprised they didn't use "Bring Them Home" from Les Mis, but don't let me get all show tuny. But I would like to think, and if Sega decides to speak to me about this, and they may not, they may not have noticed. I don't know, but I will
Yeah.
happily have a frank discussion and explain that it's not political in that way. It's a humanitarian issue of folks who have become collateral damage in a conflict. It would be great if they didn't ask to be hostages. Maybe they should be let go. Same for the Palestinian hostages. Don't know them, haven't seen a video. But again, hostages in any conflict didn't ask to be hostages. Back in the 80s, we had the Iran hostage crisis. They didn't ask to be hostages either. So same thing. Hostages should be released. I think that's a reasonable thing to say about hostages everywhere.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. Again, I don't know a crazy amount about the situation. I haven't really formed my whole opinion on the matter, so I can't really give any input of like what's right and what's wrong in this situation. But
I
I thought I'd just come on here and say what I wanted to say, have a nice civil conversation with
thank
you,
you, and you
and
did. And I appreciate that.
yeah, yeah, no
And
problem. I know that kid who came in earlier and was like trying to troll you with all that Fortnite stuff,
uh,
man. Stuff's annoying.
I'm
But
again. It's Twitter. I'm not surprised. There's in
yeah,
every
yeah, no, me neither.
there's a proportion in every population, and I dare
Yeah,
say I will fan the flames again by saying even some of the people professing opinions may not have enough information to form the opinions they have, and that's on both sides
yeah,
of the discussion or every side of the discussion. It's not a binary thing. There are lots of opinions and lots of things, and maybe some people, not all the people, but some people probably shouldn't be so firm in their opinions. But Dubsy, thank you so much. I appreciate your input.
yeah. Of course. All right, you have a good one. Hopefully, one day I'll come to a meet and greet or something like
Thank
that.
you. I hope they still exist. But
Yeah,
thank you. We'll see what
yeah,
happens. Thank you so much.
yeah. All right, bye
Bye.
bye.
All right, cool. Going well. Trolling aside, we're doing well. Sonic News Guy's here. Oh, good. Someone from the journalistic media and side of things. Sonic News Guy, are you there? Good. I can hear you. I can't see you because, again, you disappeared. No, now you're back. Don't believe everything you see. But how can I help you? Thanks for joining us.
I had a question about your take on the hostages.
Okay.
So, do you think it's partially beneficial, especially when like Israel has more Palestinian hostages, to keep some hostages so you don't get like laid to waste? Do you think there's some strategic benefit in that?
Um, I'm not a military strategist, so let me try and figure that out. Um,
But you play one on TV.
right. That's all scripted and not by me. Um, I guess from a bargaining perspective, I don't like the idea, but I understand how those in the hawkish side of the world that handle such military affairs, that yes, that would be a bargaining tool. If it were me, I probably wouldn't want humans to be my pawns. No pun intended for any other pawns that may appear in media in which I'm associated. But I guess from their perspective, yes. From my perspective, I wouldn't if I was running a war, which boy, I hope I never have to do. This is as combative as I'd like to get. I'm sorry, what?
I was saying I agree with you. All hostages are bad,
Yeah.
but I was just saying in particular, it's easy to say release them, but almost it'd be like giving up the upper hand if they release them. Because then it's like, why don't they just bomb all of Palestine? Like, what leverage is
Yeah,
there?
but notice in at least when I was saying it, I wasn't saying release the hostages. I said bring them home, which doesn't mean release them. It means at some point they get released and then they come home. So yeah, we're being very semantically oriented here and parsing phrases. But yeah, it's a tough situation all around. But yes, ideally there should be no hostages. But John Lennon called for an end to war in the '60s and '70s. How'd that work out for you? We can talk a good game, but who's listening? Okay, cool.
I mean,
All right.
that was my
Thank you.
question.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Okay, this guy looks familiar. Full disclosure, I'm working with this guy. So if there's bias, it might be in my direction. Chucky Chicken, are you there?
I'm here. How are you, good sir?
I've been better, but
Well, I just wanted to first and foremost say, I've known you for a long time, and I wasn't sure what the heck was going on
a lot of
today,
that going
but
around.
yeah. So, but the whole thing is really a sticky situation, and but I do just want to commend you for first of all doing this and clearing the air. It takes a really big person, and I'm not calling you
Thank
big
you.
in that
He's
way.
another character. But all right, stop with the but It's no longer funny. Thank you.
Exactly, but you're 100% right. Sometimes humor is used as a defense
Hmm.
mechanism, and I mean, as a failed comedian, I totally understand
Hmm.
that. Hey, it's just a tough situation. But I just want to commend you, and I agree. The hostages need to come home.
Sure.
So,
Careful, controversial opinion there. Thank you. I'm kidding. See, I'm being snarky all the time. Uh,
well,
You, you,
we'll just go ahead.
as a chicken, you would know. You stick your neck out, and then there you go. So
Well, right back at you, Mr. Turkey. What can I
thank
tell
you
you?
so much. Exactly. Touche.
Well, anyway, I'm just I just wanted to commend you and just say that I got your back.
Thank you. Appreciate
So
your support. At least one client has already silenced me from a Discord that we're in, but we're recording tomorrow, and I assume they'll be asking questions, and I'll be answering. And these are the answers I'll
there we
be
go.
giving. Cool. Thank you so much. Talk to you later.
No problem.
See you.
Yes, sir. See you soon.
All right. Moving on to Ari Bunch. There's a joke in there somewhere. I'm not going to try too hard to make one. Ari, are you there? You're on the air. Hang on. Twitter space being Twitter space. Ari, you've disappeared. We're starting the countdown. 10, 9, 8. I'm putting myself to sleep. 6, 5. I missed the number. 7, 2, 3, 9. Blast off. All right. Tower of Zeal online. Hello, you're on the air. There's a
Hello,
noise. Hello.
hello, hello. Hi, Mr. Mike
Hi.
Pollock. I appreciate you having me here. I loved your work last year doing the Sonic Twitter
Thank,
takeover in
thank you very
December.
much.
It was really great. You and your team did a great thing.
Yep.
Um, I I just what I don't understand is that how come I've since a child I've been listening to or I've seen everything NPR
Mm-hmm.
everything, NBC, Peter
Mm-hmm.
Jennings, everything like that. And I seen Israel versus, especially NPA, Israel versus Palestine for
Mm-hmm.
years. And now it's on social media and I don't understand why people can't just understand that this has been going on for a long while. And then another thing I don't understand is says, "Oh, don't meet your heroes." I think that's a little ignorant
Mm-hmm.
because I think that they you lose the opportunity to get a perspective from someone's life. And I do commend you. I know this is kind of like a slash question slash compliment, but sir, I do commend you for putting your neck out there and just expressing yourself. And I feel like context and subtlety is lost. I haven't. When I read the post, it's like, okay, you gave some positive, like from that post. It's like music. I'm paraphrasing here, but you said music is generational, or you know what I mean?
Music is a universal language, which is a quote from a
Right.
Mac Davis song from the 70s. I'm old, but go on.
But yeah, that's what I wanted to say, sir. I mean, I think you're great, and I do look up to you, and I still love to learn from you. Your work in Sonic Frontiers was great, sir.
Thank you.
But I'm sorry, I'm going to stop speaking
Thank
now
you.
and let you speak.
I can. The conflict, such as it is, has been going on, some would say, for thousands of years, going back to biblical times. It came to a head when Israel became a state, 1948. Many people were not happy with that. Others were happy with that. But the conflict continued. And then at some point, wars break out every now and again. And this is the first war that happened in the time of social media in that region. And that has obviously gotten lots of people engaged on both sides or more than both sides of the conflict. And that, especially in this combative age of social media, that leads to a lot of hate, and that sometimes spills offline as well, which is not great. Um, as for people misconstruing ideas, that's what people do. They're hardwired to bend the truth to fit their worldview, um, read stuff into words that they read ideas into words that aren't there. One of the things I love to point out is the distinction between implying and inferring. Implying is when you say something and give it a hidden meaning. Inferring is when you hear something and give it a hidden meaning. I didn't imply anything, but many people are inferring based on my hope for hostages being released safely, that I must support one side and all the actions of one side. And I haven't said that. There's so much going on that not only can I not form a great opinion, but I can't think of a solution that would make everyone happy to that conflict. I don't know that anyone can. So I'm going to let the conflict play itself out. Yeah, I'm a Jew. I mean, there's always the needle's always going to point a little more towards the Israeli side because it's the ancestral homeland of the religion. So sorry, that's just part of the package. But um, I'm I don't have a great solution to this problem. If I did, I'd be there doing something about it. I don't know that anyone has a great solution to it. And the people that want to impose their beliefs and impose an opinion on someone, I take the quote from, I believe it was House Speaker Tip O'Neill, who said, "You're entitled to your own opinions, but not your own facts." So don't put words into my mouth when the words aren't even in my head. So yeah, it's the nature of the internet. It's an occupational hazard of being on the internet, but I get it and I deal with it in my own, I hope, lovingly snarky way. But I also get that not everyone likes a smartass. Most people hate smartasses. Sorry, I'm a smartass. That's what makes me laugh. Doesn't have to make you laugh. But there you go. I hope that made sense.
Thank you, sir. I'm humbled and I love and appreciate you, Mr. Mike
Thank
Pollok.
you.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you checking in.
You're welcome, sir.
And Solid JJ is here. Solid. That's the old expression that we used in the 60s when I wasn't really alive to say cool. So Solid JJ, welcome.
Hey, Mike. How we doing?
Well, it's been a day.
You're having a day.
Uh-huh.
First, I mean, you don't even know if you're real.
No,
You might not even be you.
I'll check my pulse later, but I can't trust that either. So yeah, if we take it as given for the sake of argument that I'm real, it's great to have you here in our space.
Thank you. There's always a good way to check it. If you just like, normally the government hands out like cards with your name on it and birthday. If you
Mm-hmm.
just tweet that, we should know for sure.
Well, I'd have to black out my address and stuff, but yeah,
That's part of the fun.
I guess I can do that. Maybe I'll do that a little bit later. Here's a simple test. I'm pinching myself. Ow, it hurts. Okay, what does that prove? I don't know. But how can I help you?
I'll be honest. I'm like one of the 300 people that didn't expect to get called on, but I guess that I'm here. It was interesting to see that you were I think the thing was that you were responding so often, like someone else said before, that people just weren't expecting it.
That's what I always do. I'm always responding to people. Some people hate that. I get that, but I respond to almost everyone. I mean, now when there's thousands of hate messages coming, it's a little hard to reply to everyone. I do plan to sleep tonight, and I've got stuff to do over the weekend. But yeah, when physically and mentally possible, I respond to people. And here I responded before it got even repetitive for me. So that's why I figured let's try something a little more interactive.
Well, I didn't send out the whole recon team, so I don't know this full story. But from what it sounds like, you just shared a video that someone sent you.
I shared, yeah. I to recap, shared a video of a Jewish musician. He makes song parodies. He's a team. I'll name drop them. They're in the video. Country Yossi and Heshi Wallfish. They've got a whole series of albums under the Country Yossi label. They make song parodies, usually about educational topics or just funny topics. Sometimes a little controversial. Sometimes positive messaging for Jews everywhere. This, not surprisingly, they've seen the hostage situation. It moved Heshi to take a song, make a parody. He chose Empty Chairs at Empty Tables from Les Mis. It's about people dying in a war. He rewrote it. He made a song. I guess at some point they decided to make a video. I'm sorry?
I haven't seen the video. Is it like, because you're saying it's a parody artist. He didn't, was the song making light of it? Or?
He wrote he took the song. The song itself is a beautiful song from Les Mis, and it's fairly sad and tragic. But it's about all my friends are dead and gone. And all the he's in a pub, and all the chairs and tables. Hi, I'm drunk. All the chairs and tables are empty because his friends are dead and gone. That lends itself to the Seder table, which is how we celebrate Passover. We all get together, have a ritual meal. Not so much after COVID, but that's another matter. And at those Seder tables, a lot of people were leaving an empty chair in memory they're not all dead, in honor of the hostages who couldn't be with their own families. So at some point, Heshi made the connection, as I would have done as a song parodist, saying, wow, that song could work for the modern day hostage situation. So he took the song, rewrote the lyrics, sang it to a music track. I think he made it himself. I don't know. That's not really relevant. Added some appropriate imagery, although somewhat controversial and gory because it's a gory war situation, and then sent it around. And he knew that I've got a fairly large audience because of the work we've done before. And I said, sure, I'm all for getting the hostages home. Here's a heartfelt way to make that message known. And I shared it, realizing there would be controversy. I don't know that I expected this level of controversy, but I also don't know what I expected. In the back of my mind, I said, well, this will be interesting, and possibly a little bit of this may not go well, but I was willing to take the risk because it's a fairly serious issue and one that I should probably have addressed a little earlier. But the situation has been so weird with the entire conflict since October 7th. And it's like, I don't know, I get involved, it's touchy because it's all the Free Palestine people, and I don't want to deal with that. But then on campus, the protests and Jews being attacked just for being Jews. I said, maybe we should make people more aware. And I've had my own little anti-Semitic episodes with people privately, thinking I'm lying about being a Jew and making Jew references. No, don't do that. We Jews don't take kind of that. So that it's a natural progression of the struggle of Jews, especially right after Passover. Passover celebrates the escape of the slaves from Egypt. And so this is another form of persecution, of which that's all we do. It's Jews and persecution goes hand in hand. But that's that in a nutshell, I guess.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't see the reason to have, I mean, I really don't want to I don't want to talk to you heavily on this. I have some people here that might not want to hear that. But I don't know. I don't see that you're doing anything too evil. You don't have any kids locked up in your basement. That might not have been the best joke to make, but.
Thank you. But yeah, as far as I know, I'd have to check, but no, I do not. Yeah,
last time you were down there. Yeah.
Yeah, but as the internet says, haters gonna hate. If there's something that can trigger a little hatred, hey, I can latch onto that. So there you go.
Hey, yeah, you know what? When it comes to your opinion on the Israel-Palestine, hate is gonna hate. That's true, Mike.
And there's no hater like an internet hater.
No.
Solid, JJ. Thank you so much. I appreciate your input. Really do.
Yeah, have a good one. Man.
Cool. Thanks, you too. Sad Bulldog, you're up next as soon as I tap this button. Hello, you're on the air. Sad Bulldog, waiting for some sound from you. Now you disappeared, but you're here. I hear you.
Hey, Mike, what's up?
Oh, so much is up.
So I've been following you for a long time, and actually, we're mutuals. Fun fact: I remember a long time ago, my account actually got hacked a while back as well, and then I made this new one here that I have right now, and we're mutuals. We're buddies.
Cool. Welcome. I hope we don't live to regret that, but let's find out.
All right. Just got one question because I don't really know what's going on. You're entitled to your own opinions, yada yada. I'm just curious about the whole circumcision thing, man. I don't know what's up with that.
Excellent question. It used to be common knowledge, which is why I mentioned it, but now I guess it's not so common knowledge. Part of the thing about being a Jew, for males specifically, is ritual circumcision. It's you do it on the 8th day that a baby is born. The guy comes, the moil he's called. He has a special tool. I'm in Wikipedia to see if they summarize it any better than I can. But basically, they snip off the foreskin, and all male Jews, at least following the tradition, are ritually circumcised. So that used to be a common joke that you can make. If someone's Jewish, you assume they're circumcised. You make circumcision jokes. The reason why
I understand that.
Cool. So the reason why I responded with that, I often make, if you've seen me on Twitter, I make parallel construction jokes. So in this case, what seemed in my head to be a natural response to, he's been hacked. Okay, something has been done to him. I respond to, no, thinking we're talking about being Jewish now. What's been done to me as a Jew is I've been circumcised. So he's been hacked. No, he's been circumcised because he's a Jew. So that's that.
Okay, thank you. I think what's confusing a lot of people and kind of like shocking the internet right now is how abrupt all of this is. It's a lot. It's a lot of info dump that you're pouring on people, you know?
I know.
It was all a lot all at once, and you're trending and everyone's like, "Oh, it's over. Sega's going to get you." You're taking a lot of risks, man. A lot of risks.
Okay, it's not the first time I've done an info dump. And secondly, the risk is relative. I understand that the internet wants to play cancel games, great. But in the world of business where people are a little more, dare I say, cool-headed and rational, they will, I would like to think, look at the source tweet and say, oh, this is what started it? That's not a big deal, is it? That's an honorable opinion to have and an honorable thought to express. I'm actually not opining on the intricacies of the conflict the way so many people who love to opine on these things do. I deliberately avoided that intentionally to not spark that type of controversy. The video itself, which I did not create, I just shared, shows the graphic imagery, which is why I put a trigger warning on it, which, again, people pointed out, that's not typical, that can't be Mike. Your detective work, ladies and gentlemen, not so great. But I did it in a way to make sure that I'm requesting the general public desire among my fellow Jews to have our fellow Jewish hostages to have them come home safely, and then nothing more. I'm not adding to them. So the internet inferring and adding and conflating and blowing up, that's what it does. Not surprised by that. Shouldn't have been surprised by that. But that, if it comes to any of my clients questioning me, I'm going to say, can we chat about this for a minute? And I'll explain, here's the original tweet. Here are some of my replies. It's just me being snarky, me getting defensive, responding with comedy, self-deprecating humor as I do. And that's that. And that's me. And they know me well enough, I would hope, to know, oh, yeah, it is you. So we'll see.
Yeah. So, like I said in the beginning, I'm not really sure what's going on in the situation. I don't even know if you're not, whatever. People have probably already debunked that by now. You probably already debunked that. Whatever. So that's kind of all I wanted to ask was what's with the circumcision and maybe a rock fell on your head or something. But I hope you have a good night, man. And it was a good talk. And
Thank you.
I hope you can stay mutual buddies.
But so far, so good. I'm here to debunk. I'm good at that, and that's why we're here. So
all right.
every
You
little
have a
bit
good
helps.
night now.
Thank you so much. Good night.
You have a good night.
Looking at the line of people and wondering how long this will drag on, but let's keep it moving. Scully was just there. We're now up to, hang on, he disappeared. Hang on if you can hear me. I don't know how this works from the other end. Scully, there you go. Is it you? Now you're gone. Don't make me count down now. 10, 9,
Hello?
Hello? Hello!
Hello?
Great, you're
Hello.
there. Welcome.
Hi.
Hi.
I would just like to say a few things that I'm on here.
That's
I wasn't
why we're
actually
here.
expecting to be up quick, just listening in.
Thank you.
I just I find it very disappointing to hear all this from you. Just
How so?
mainly just wanted to say that first. Mainly because you know, you are certainly allowed to share your opinions, but personally, and I think a lot of people that I've talked to about this matter, because I just woke up and read this, disagree very heavily. And I would just like you to sort of, you know, just explain a bit more. I'm just a bit curious on that before I fully ask you some more questions.
Sure, you're dropping out, but I'll try and make sense of what you said. You're disappointed that I've expressed an opinion you disagree with. Is that the gist of your question? Okay.
Yes.
I will counter that by saying people are allowed to disagree with people. You don't have to agree with everyone. You're not supposed to agree with everyone. People are allowed to disagree. In America, I'm guessing you may not be from America, but in America, there is a right of free speech, at least as the government is concerned. The government has to allow hate speech. So if you allow speech from people you agree with, you also have to allow speech from people you disagree with, no matter how vile that might be. I believe the opinion I expressed is not particularly vile. The opinion I expressed, and just to clear up any confusion, I want the Jewish hostages to return home safely. I don't think that's controversial. I guess I can widen that to say I want all hostages to be released home to return home safely wherever in the world they're being kept hostage, and there are several hostages happening around the world. But in this case, I was referring to a specific video that a Jewish friend of mine shared with me, a fellow Jew, of a song parody he wrote about wishing the return of the hostages, the Israeli hostages specifically. So that's why I referenced when sharing that video on a hot button issue in my specific bubble of influence as a Jew. That's the opinion I shared. And I don't think it's controversial to want hostages who are hostages in a war against their better choice. They didn't choose to be hostages. So wanting them to return home safely doesn't seem to be that outrageous of an issue. Maybe I'm mistaken, but I don't think so.
Yes, not necessarily is that an issue for wanting hostages to come home. Of course, we all want people to be safe and happy and have peace. But I feel like a lot of people have seems a little bit disrespectful to the Palestinian hostages that are currently being held hostage, which there are quite a lot more of. So I think a lot of people have just seen it like in that way, sort of.
I understand that. But one thing to keep in mind, Jews, just like most tribes of any religion or any ethnic group or any other specific group, tend to side with their own given an option. And in this case, the video was about the Israeli hostages. The Palestinian hostages weren't mentioned. I don't have a song to share with that. I guess I could if one was sent to me. But Jews in the Jewish circles in which I travel and follow on social media and whatever bubble forms just like any other one in their own little bubble, I'm surrounded by Jews, and the Jews tend to want the Israeli hostages to be freed. That's what this song was about. I liked the song. I liked the sentiment. I shared it. As I mentioned, the legal principle of the expression of one is the exclusion of another does not apply here. Just because I expressed the desire for one particular set of hostages to be released, you can't infer that I don't want any other hostages released just because I didn't say it. That's not fair. That's not good logic. That's my counter argument to that.
Alrighty. Also, one more question just before I go.
Sure.
I know you just mentioned this before about the circumcision and everything that you were talking about on Twitter. I understand why you said that, of course, and the reasoning behind it. I just feel like that it just wasn't very. It wasn't very appropriate. I feel like.
I'm a snarky guy. I'm always sarcastic. It is typical response that I would give in any situation. If it makes you feel uncomfortable, it's part of the reason why you might make sarcastic comments.
Yes, sarcastic comments itself are nice. They can be funny, but I just feel like this was in poor taste, in my opinion.
I understand, and again, we're entitled to disagree. This is how I defend myself. I defend myself with sarcasm. Firstly, that's my first line of defense. If anyone would like to continue the situation, I'll explain the sarcastic comment and why I likened it to circumcision, and then we can have a less sarcastic discussion. But in almost all aspects of life, whether I'm dealing with a customer service agent on the phone, I lead with sarcasm. It makes me laugh. It makes some other people laugh too. Not apparently everyone. And again, you can't please everyone.
Of course,
So,
yeah, you can't please
appreciate
everyone with it, but I believe that there is a line with sarcasm and snarky comments that when you cross that line, it tends to go from funny to unfunny.
I appreciate that. I'm aware of that. I take that risk. That's a risk I take all the time. And the touchier the subject, the touchier the risk. And I took that risk intentionally. I could have not said that. I chose to say that. So.
All right. Well, thank you for having me on here. I don't know how this works, so just remove me. However, it
All
works.
right.
All
No disrespect intended, but thanks for calling.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Colorful potatoes, like the name, I think. How can I help you? Hang on, I'm taking a drink. It's only tea. Twitter Spaces works like a well-oiled machine. Doesn't sound like a well-oiled machine. Okay, we're going to do a countdown in 10, 9, 8. There
Hello?
we go. That's a noise. Hello.
Oh, wow. Okay, I wasn't expecting to be on.
That's okay. You
Honest,
requested to speak. I granted your request.
honestly, everybody kind of answered most of my questions.
Okay.
But I have two statement, one question, one statement.
Okay.
First statement is, I bet you get this a lot, but you sound like Dr. Eggman without trying.
I do get that a lot. I don't happen to agree, only because I know that the effort it takes to create Dr. Eggman's voice is very vocally taxing. But thank you. I will take that in the spirit in which it was intended. I appreciate it.
My only main question was, when you made that post today on Twitter and your other posts, were you expecting it to go like basically viral and like everybody thinking that you are AI or oh Sega's gonna get you fired? Like, was you expecting all of that backlash?
Not all of it. Some of it, sure, because I know how people can be. Wasn't expecting the AI thing and the hacking bit. I expected the canceling because that is somewhere on everyone's keyboard. There's a cancel button I don't have on mine, but that's what people love to do. Even though I will say, and I'll continue to say, disagreeing with someone, just covering your ears doesn't solve the problem. You're much better off trying to negotiate and have a conversation, and if not come to some agreement, at least understand the people you disagree with. So no, that part, the canceled part, I expected. Do I expect it? Again, never trust people who ask themselves their own questions and answer them. But in this case, that's the most efficient way to do this. If it reaches clients, I would hope that my clients will speak to me before they make any decision. But again, if you come back to my original tweet, simply asking that the Israeli hostages return home safely, that's not particularly controversial if it's at all controversial at all. Yes, my snarky responses may be controversial, but that's just me. My bio says dishing out snark and sensibility because I'm a snarky guy, I'm sarcastic, I have a quick wit, I can't control it or sometimes choose not to control it because things make me laugh. Connections form in my head that turn into jokes and I share them. So my clients know me, they know that about me. I don't expect them to have a problem, but if they do have a problem, if they don't talk to me first, I'll talk to them after because one thing I've learned about people I can't call it overreacting because I've proved elsewhere that people don't overreact. They always react consistently with their experience and belief and intentions. But if they intend to do something drastic without consulting me, I will have my various agents and managers reach out to them and say, you want to talk about this? Because you might be blowing this out of proportion and you may have gotten it wrong. I believe that, and I hope they'll believe that.
Okay. I think my last question, honestly,
Mhm.
is this your first time having to like speak to some of your fans and clearing the air about stuff?
Not at all. I do it all the time publicly on Twitter. I occasionally do it in direct messages. I don't prefer that way. This is the first Twitter live space doing it because it seemed an appropriate. Um, it serves two purposes. First of all, it's very interactive, so people can come with their questions. Before, with the whole Twitter meme announcement, say this line, no, don't say this line, that was just a static recording and very one sided. This way, we get to interact. But also, it's with all that's happened today, I never got to take the shower I wanted to take, so I'm not camera ready. So if I'm doing a video, it's not happening anytime soon. So this kills two proverbial birds with one proverbial Twitter space.
Okay, and that's all I really had to say. And every time I'm sorry, I said that's all I really had to say. And every time you speak, I can exactly see why you're Dr. Eggman. So
Thank you.
thank you very
Right.
much.
Thank you so much. And let's move on to Atomic, a nice, easy to pronounce name. Atomic, are you there? I'll give you time because we've established that Twitter Spaces never happens. Oh,
Hello?
there's a noise. I hope that's you. Hello.
I can't hear nothing.
Can't you? How about now? I can hear you.
I cannot hear anything.
You cannot hear me telling you that I can hear you. Hi. All right. Well, we can hear. There's no point in me telling you that we can hear you. We can hear you, but we're going to have to take another call because you can't hear us. No offense. Give you a quick 10 count. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. I should do a podcast. 3,
Hello?
2. Hello? Anything? Atomic, can you hear me?
I can't hear nothing.
All right. Gotta go. Try again. Here's a familiar looking name, I think. Sebastian, are you there? Can you hear me? Can I hear you? Can anyone hear anything? I'm taking
I
another drink. I'm very raspy. I got work tomorrow. This is going to be a challenge. Hello.
Hello, Mike. It's been quite a while.
So it has. Welcome.
Hey there, Mike.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm doing as well as can be expected under the circumstances. How can I help you, Sebastian?
Well, there are things I've been seeing on cross Twitter recently. From the looks
Yes.
of things, I've seen from your Twitter post about this whole thing, and to be honest, I was actually confused for a moment. But I know it's the real you for only one reason.
Yes.
Because you are Eggman yourself, and I've come to know that you're one of the biggest voice actors I've come to support for the past two years. And the videos I made for you, like the Pluto anime that I made for you, that is something I worked so hard to do, to just support a lot of people like you, Eggman.
Thank you, and I appreciate that.
And whatever's happening right now, I just wanted you to know that the choices that we make and the actions that follow us, they are reflections of who we are. We can never hide from ourselves. That is how life works.
Great. Well, if you're ever unfortunately held hostage, I will hope and pray to the extent that I pray for your release, because I would want nothing more than for you to be released as a hostage, as I've done here.
That actually sounded actually, that's actually true, actually. To be honest, I've been actually held hostage by the cycle of hatred that my family has gone through for years. But by the time I discovered the truth, I felt released. Like I finally understand everything that's going on in life. And that's what led me to making the right choices on my own. And and I got hacked before, But fortunately, I got this account here you see back as a way for me to just make sure no one would ever try to do anything like that again. Even Jessica Strauss agrees that whoever tries to do that to me or anybody else, even the voice actors, doesn't know what life truly means.
Well, thank you, Sebastian. I appreciate your support, and I'd love to talk all night, but I got a whole line of people still waiting to talk. So thank you so much for calling.
It's what I do best.
Fantastic. We'll talk to you later.
Hope you do something awesome, Eggman.
Thank you so much. And I guess your name is Red Flag. I got that, right? Thank you so much. Mr. or Mrs. or gender non-specific flag, how can I help you? Okay, here we go. You know how this film goes, everyone. 10, 9, 8, 7. You've just disappeared in the void. 4, 5. I may have missed 4, 3, 2, 1. No signs of life. We're moving on to someone who looks familiar. JT Plays, everyone. JT, welcome. How are you? How can I help you?
Sorry about that. Now I can speak to you.
Thank you.
Well, I think a lot of those who have said that. Sorry, I was trying to think. I'm trying to think here of what I'm trying to say.
That's why we're here.
Right. I agree with what you say that not everybody should agree with everybody and all that stuff, but I do think that it is sad to see people say, well, we should recast Mike now and stuff. Like, look, guys, I understand that there's going to be disagreements and stuff, and I've had my fair share in the past as well, but people shouldn't lose their jobs over disagreements, at least minor ones anyway.
I agree, but in this case, I guess I'm biased here too. But yeah, it's a slippery slope. If we get to shun people, where does the shunning stop? You like blue. I hate people who like blue. You're shunned. In the old primitive days, shunning was a regulated thing. It's how villages cast out their members. It's icky. Pick your
Nowadays, it's
disagreements
called a
and
blacklist.
right. And it's a bit much. Are people not allowed to have differing opinions? You can only deal with people you agree with? That's not a particularly great sign of maturity. There's empathy. Empathy is a thing that exists, even if I can't quite say it. You understand other people's feelings, and you don't have to agree with them, but you can at least feel that you understand the way they feel. But that may not be a thing anymore. So thank you. Hope we don't get canceled. Trying not to get canceled. Going to explain if anyone tries to cancel why that's not necessary. But the knee-jerk reactions people are having, fascinating.
I just wish that we could talk about politics or serious things more civilly. Like, I get it to the 2.6, to you and the 2.6 people listening in this space, that talking about this stuff is important and it's going to come up because it's important. But there's ways to do it and there's ways to not do it. And I feel like some of us are going way too far and we're not even touching grass, as the kids say these days, or doing something to calm ourselves down to keep from going overboard.
Yeah, there's a tremendous lack of civility these days, and I wish it was as easy as saying, "Yo, be more civil." It's not. But cool, JT. Thank you so much. I appreciate your input. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me on, Mike. It was a pleasure to talk to you.
Back at you. We'll talk to you later.
All right, bye.
Bye. Nobody TV is here. I could make silly jokes at people's names. I'm not doing that because we've determined I'm too snarky. So I'm reining some of it in. Nobody, are you there? Looks like you're there.
Yeah, I'm here.
Sounds like you're there. Fantastic.